I had this big dream in 2018 to start a film festival in Redwood City because I love this city so much. And that dream sort of snowballed into starting a whole nonprofit called Bravemaker that exists to elevate brave stories for diversity and inclusion. And so we have a film festival and a monthly screening series, and we want you to come be a part of it. So our first event happened December 2018, and we had a packed house. Bay Area filmmaker Richard Levine was there to screen his film Collision. So we had a really awesome discussion. I'm looking forward to more of these every month. Bravemaker is looking for brave storytellers. We want to curate film screenings monthly, and we want to have transforming conversations about life's meaningful topics.
But I made the film hoping that even people that don't agree with me on everything, people who may be on the fence about this issue, there's a whole bunch of things that I think almost everybody can agree about.
And now we have to be able to speak, and we have to be able to give testimony and help those who don't have a voice and be their voice.
Amazing turnout for our sneak preview screening of Collisions with Bravemaker, and I was really happy to see the audience and to hear the way they reacted to the film. And super honored to be have as our sponsors Immigrant Rising and Catholic Charities. And yeah, just honored to be here, and looking forward to the festival in June.
So Bravemaker is a 501c3 nonprofit, and we exist on the generosity of our donors. So if you feel compelled to support the vision to elevate brave voices for diversity and inclusion, go to bravemaker.com today and become one of our Bravemaker partners. And to check out more of our events to find out what screening is coming next near you.
Brave stories change the world.
Well, hello, everybody. My name is Tony Gapistone, and I get to be the founder and the executive director of Bravemaker. That was obviously our very, very, very first event that we held in Redwood City, where we are headquartered at the Century 20 theaters that are now shut down since the middle of March. And everything that we're doing is now online because of COVID-19. It's a very, very strange time that we're living in this world. I also want to address just the realities of the racial justice issues that are happening right now in Minneapolis, Minnesota. We exist to have conversations that move us forward in equity for all people. So in regards to George Floyd and all Black lives that value and matter today, we want you to know Bravemaker stands in solidarity with you. Today, our conversation is going to focus around 4 filmmakers. And before I introduce my co-host and all of those filmmakers, I want to say thank you to our sponsors. We cannot do this without the sponsorship of organizations, businesses here in the Bay Area that believe in our work. So Premia Capital in downtown Redwood City, we say thank you for saying yes and for helping fund this work to continue to help us stay online. Even just today, going through all of our bills, and we're paying insurance for events we don't even have right now. We have our rent, we have our supplies. We just ordered a new computer, and this is all enabled by generosity of people like you. So thank you so much for saying yes to us. We're still looking for sponsors who want to partner with us. You can give me an email at tony@bravemaker.com. And we're doing a new thing today where we're saying, let's keep supporting local businesses and restaurants. And I want to shout out to Casa Indian. That is one of my favorite restaurants in Redwood City. They're also in San Francisco in the Castro. If you like Indian food, please support local. Casa Indian has a fantastic menu. I love their naan and all their great menu items. So please support them. My friend Anamika is one of the owners, and we want to say thank you to Casa Indian for continuing to do things like pickup and curbside delivery, because we can't do this work without being nourished with good food. So support local. All right, let me welcome in my co-host today, my friend, my assistant director, Robertino. Just Robertino, like Prince.
Yeah, Prince, Madonna, get it? Got it.
So Robertino has been a part of the Brave Maker family since the very beginning. Robertino, before we jump in to our discussion today, give people a little bit of information about you, your passions, and what you're doing in the world today.
Programming a lot of the films in the film festival. So I've seen a lot of these films in there. They're films that need to be shown to the world. So that's why we're here. We're bringing these emerging filmmakers that you're going to hear from them sooner or later. So you might as well hear from them here. So I'm excited about that. So yeah, you know me, I get around. So
Robertino is crucial to the work we do. And just so you know, our whole team is all volunteers. There's so much work and energy that goes into programming these films, the communication of those films, the talking with the filmmakers, the getting the links, the promoting, the running from your job to your computer, making sure you're not sweaty and stuff so that you can be presentable online. So we're so grateful for you, Robertino, and our whole Brave Maker team. In fact, we have Christina Jackson, one of our other co-hosts, who's watching live. We say hi to Christina. Thank you. Mario is saying, hey, thanks for being here, Mario. If you're just joining in, right on. If you just found us online, you can chime in at any time, say hello, where you're videoing in or watching from, and then any questions you have for our filmmakers. So Robertino, I'm going to turn it over to you and introduce our 4 filmmakers, and I'll bring them into the broadcast. Go for it.
So who do we have here? Okay, so we're bringing in Alexander straight from Redwood City, from the
hood. What's up?
And Carlos Sanchez in the city. Julio Sanchez in the city, right? And Pietro Pinto from the city too. So it just happens that we all know each other, and in one way or another, we've crossed paths, and it's exciting to have you guys here. So welcome.
Thank you.
Happy to be here. Robertino definitely championed all your films, and I'm so glad he did. And we're going to talk about them today and get to know a little bit about them. So why don't we start with you, Pietro, my Italian fratello.
Bye,
right.
grandi. Let's give it an Italian twist to this. Bravo.
Batti, okay, piacere.
Bellissimo.
All right, let's hear. Why don't you give us your a little bit about yourself and your film?
Absolutely. So first of all, thank you very much. Thank you to Robertino. Thank you to you, Tony, to organize these and keep on supporting filmmakers and local San Francisco filmmakers, even if sometimes are like me, immigrants from Italy. I'm very excited to be here. I actually teach at San Francisco State University, from which I just graduated. And all of the people that are co-hosting this event with me, both Julio's, Carlos, and Alexander, have been also a student of mine for the thesis program, and I get inspired by them, and I'm so happy to share this stage with their beautiful films. I did this film Rosita when I first got to San Francisco in 2016. The movie is a 20-short film love story. I would say is a man in love with a rose flower that eventually fall in love with a real person, and he has to go from the love of a flower, from a love of something fictional, poetic for sure, to the love of a real person in the midst of the beauty of San Francisco. It's been a great and exciting project, very low budget, that turned out very well because it was presented at the Venice Film Festival, and it gave me a lot of attention. And it was a great adventure, especially my first film in San Francisco. And now I got to know so many people, so many talented students, that eventually, even in this very time, I'm shooting a new film under COVID circumstances to support, to keep on believing in cinema, no matter the crazy times we're living in.
I just want to say, gosh, the film Rosita was really, truly cinematic, and you did. I can't wait to talk about the specifics of the budget, because I think filmmakers love talking about how sometimes we feel limited by money, but I didn't even get a sense at all that you had to skimp anywhere, which is a great creative accomplishment. So kudos to you, Pietro, for doing that, and for giving San Francisco like a love affair. I was like, Yeah,
Yeah.
people often joke about how cities and locations are characters, but San Francisco is definitely a major part of this film and beautiful, beautiful story. So well done. And by the way,
Yeah, I think this is the key. This is the key. If you're doing something, go out and shoot in the city. And we got very lucky because we didn't have any permit. I just arrived in San Francisco a few months before, and I just took the camera. My great director of photography that time was with great Lorenzo Casadio, a great crazy Italian from Rome. So imagine this guy just arrived here and saying, guys, vamos, andiamo a girare, Pietro, andiamo. I say, look, man, here things are different. You know, you have to have a permit. If the cop shows up, it can be a problem. I don't care, man. I've been shooting in Havana. I've been shooting in Rome. Let's just do it. And we went from Dolores Park to the Castro all the way to Fort Point. It was a great adventure, and it was nice to set the story in the city. So, yeah. Thank you for
beautiful.
this.
Get me connected to that guy. I like him already.
Of course.
Robertina, I'll turn it over to you for the next question. But I like to say this because we always forget sometimes. These conversations are based on films that we have been entrusted with. So these 4 filmmakers have given us links to their films. They go out every week through our subscriber list. And if you're not on our subscriber list, you can go to bravemaker.com/buzz and sign up for a weekly email. It's free. And we kind of use this online discussion just like we would do at our festivals or at our public screenings. We sort of expect you would have seen the films. So we talk in ways that assume you've watched the film. So just as a way to avoid spoilers, if you want to press pause and come back after you watch the films and watch on the replay, that's fine too, because these filmmakers are going to be talking about story and craft. So just know that that's kind of the assumption and expectation that you've watched the films that we're talking about. Robertino, who's next?
I'm gonna choose Alexander.
That's me. Hi. How's it going?
I worked at a high school, and I remember seeing you at high school, but you were a high school kid, and I'm like, wait a minute. I saw you at State, and I'm like, I know this guy. And then we started talking, and I'm like, wow, you're in film too. So,
yeah, no.
So it's great to see you evolve in your career, and you've done so much already at your young age. So
it's been crazy. It's been a wild ride. A lot of gray hairs have been accumulating up here from a lot of it.
Yeah, no, I mean, congratulations. Beep from Beep. It seems like a personal story to you, like, about your grandfather.
Yeah, definitely.
Can you tell me a little bit about that and how it evolved? And then I think you did a lot of the work, right? You did the graphics too, right?
Yeah. So first of all, hi, I'm the director of Beep, as it's on the screen right now. Beep was my thesis film for the class of 2019's SFSU thesis film class, which Pietro was, a part of as well, and actually helped me with the edit of this film. This film, I thought of multiple different things of what I could do for my thesis film, but then I came to the conclusion that I really love just a handful of these things like Pixar action movies and just pieces with a lot of heart. And then I found out that I also have a very intense soft spot for old people. And my grandpa is a huge just piece of inspiration within my life. And so I just decided to kind of meld that all into one film. And so I became the film Beep. Which, as you said, is very VFX heavy. There's a flying robot in the film, which some people would think like, wow, this is going to be a tall order. Actually, in our scripted portion of the thesis class, because in my class we had the scripting and the pre-production portion, and the next semester was the post-production. In pre-production, I feel like there was a little hesitation on, how are you going to do all this? And for me, I was just like, I'll figure it out. It's fine. And then I kind of just ended up figuring it out. I literally built that little ball there, that little lemon with an eye. And then, we filmed in ways where we're able to manipulate it in After Effects and Premiere Pro. And honestly, for me, again, the gray hair thing, a lot of gray hairs came from this film, but for me, it's just all worth it at the end, because there's just so many stories and so much heart in film in general that really adds to my belief of escapism and how there's just a lot of bad in the world, a lot of good in the world. And I believe that film is a medium, and just media in general, to be made available for people to watch and to kind of get that ease of escapism where they're able to watch this and just, again, feel at ease just for a short period of time. So honestly, that's kind of like my mission in life right now, is to just create pieces where if it helps one person in any way whatsoever, then I know that I'm doing my job. So starting with Beep, and yeah, Beep was a huge project. I'm really happy that it turned out the way that it did. I had a huge support system, and I had, you know, my excellent writing partner. His name is Renato Ornedo, and he helped me a lot with the script. And I had an excellent sound designer named Max Serwitz. He also went to SF State. There's just so many people who helped out with this film, and I'm just so incredibly grateful for everyone, with my family, my friends, for helping and donating to the process as well. So yeah, and then again, I'm very happy to be a part of Brave Maker. I'm actually Redwood City born and raised. I'm currently in Menlo Park right now, so it's just really exciting to have like a nice full circle moment here. So this is awesome.
That's great. Yeah.
Got a question from Christina. Was your grandpa in the arts?
No, actually, my grandpa, I should have mentioned that. My grandpa is the person who you're seeing on screen, the person who's actually the main character in the film. He was never in the arts, but he definitely, he loves movies. Every time I go to his house, there's always a movie playing, and it's always like an older movie as well. Like a couple weeks ago, I came to his house and he was watching an old Pedro Infante film, which is funny because one of the songs that I use in the film is from Pedro Infante. And in his old town in Mexico, he would actually bring film reels and play it for the whole village. So he's always had a spot for film, but no, never has been an actor in any sense. So this is an acting debut, you know.
You did a great job.
Yeah, I know.
Great.
Well, the thing about this film is that the character that I had in mind was my grandpa, essentially my grandpa, because that's literally him. He can fix anything. He can take a lawnmower and a car, or like use the engine of a lawnmower and put it into a car and make it work somehow, you know? So it was just really easy for him to be him on screen. And I was trying to find other actors and was doing interviews with actors, but I just didn't feel right. And I just called him straight up one day, just saying, "Do you want to be in the film?" And he was very down, very down to be a part of the film. And the house that featured in the short film is his actual house as well. It burnt down a few years ago, and so when the house was finally built is when I was supposed to start filming my thesis film. And I just asked him, "Hey, am I able to film in here, please, and treat it like a studio?" And he was completely fine with it. And so we just added a bunch of radios, added a bunch of things from his backyard and stuff like that, and just kind of made it into the workshop that we wanted it to look like.
Mario said, "Smart casting to have your grandpa as the main actor." I think I always like to kind of pick out little nuggets of wisdom, but for anybody trying to make a film right now, casting is always a big issue, but it can also save you money to cast people in your family and your friends. I'm sure your grandpa didn't require anything but food, but that probably helped a lot in shooting.
And a lot of coffee, lots of coffee as well.
Right on. Right on. Well done. We'll make sure if you have not watched Beep, we'll put the link in the posts below, in the comments below. Let's hear from, let's see, Carlos, give us a little bit of Agridulce.
Yes, thank you for having me, and I'm glad to be here with a lot of people that I personally admire. Yeah, so Agridulce, it's a story based actually out of my dad's childhood. I would say, so the story focuses on a story between two brothers that live in poverty, and they're both trying to get out of it in their own way, you know. One, it's actually going to school and dedicating all his time to studying, while the other's actually like stealing from stores, selling drugs, and just stuff like that. Not because he's a bad person, but because the necessity of how he needs the money to, you know, being able to pay for his brother's education and for their grandpa, like medicine and stuff like that, right? So my dad actually grew up in Tijuana. That's where I grew up until I was 12, and he actually grew up in poverty. He was working since he's been 11 years old. And actually a lot of his friends got killed from selling drugs and stuff like that, not because they were bad people, but because they needed the money to really just make, like, so I can buy food or anything. So I think I really wanted to make a movie because, again, my dad, and more than anything, just to kind of explain to myself, why would anybody do that? Kind of, it's almost like I'm going to the psychology of it to, like, just like trying to explain to myself, and maybe that way I can, let other people know that, hey, like, sometimes things that you see are not just so black and white, And on my community college, I actually study social and behavioral sciences. So to me, I'm always super interested in just humans and why they do what they do, and depending like what ethnicity you're from, that's like kind of some situations that you're running into, So I love people, and I love just trying to understand what they do. So Agridulce, that's what the film's about.
Robertino, do you want to ask any questions?
Oh yeah, like some people were asking, what does agridulce mean? I mean, I know what it means, but
yeah. So it means bittersweet. That's what agridulce is, bittersweet. So the reason why I call it bittersweet is because even though these people, live in a situation that we would think it's bad, like we would look at it and be like, damn, like what? How can anybody be happy living in that situation, I mean, when I talk to my dad or my aunts, they're like, dude, we grew up super happy. Like, we were happy with what we had, and we were just always trying to make the best out of it, So yes, it's sad, but it's like so inspiring to me how people that live in that situation, they were able to, in their own way, like get out of it. So to me, that's why Agridulce is.
And you shot in Tijuana, no?
Yes. Oh, man, that was a mission.
Experience, because I'm just thinking you can get away with a lot there.
See, you think, but you don't. Oh man, you don't. At one point, when we were shooting in the market, like the little pharmacy scene. My apologies. Getting too excited. When we were shooting the pharmacy scene, oh man, they only give us 30 minutes. We were going to have that for supposed to I think it was 2 hours, and then they're like, hey, like, even though we gave you a permit, the manager of this market called, and they're not too happy that there's going to be a robbery scene happening, even though we had the permit for a month, And yes, that scene. So we had only 30 minutes to film it, only 30 minutes. So even I think the one that was a lot of fun was shooting at the taco shop. I love the taco shop scene. That's my favorites. Because number one, just growing up, I know that some of the most intimate conversations I ever had with my family or my cousins, my friends, have been at a taco shop. So yeah, no, it was fun. You don't get away with as much as you think you will, but it's fun. It was fun. A whole mission, but super fun.
Yeah, the actors were great.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Can you talk about that? Can you talk about the casting in the same way you had a grandfather figure in there?
Yes. Thank you so much. Yeah, so actually, just like Alex, I wanted to use my grandpa because my grandpa actually grew up from Mexico City. He moved to Tijuana really young. I think he was 15 years old. He didn't go to high school. He didn't go to college, but he's a really well-educated man. He self-taught a bunch of things. He actually became the CEO of High Alai, which is a really famous place in Tijuana. And now it's not running anymore, but he's just a person that really understands. He's very arbitrary, and what's right, what's wrong, and why people do what they do, So to me, my grandpa has always been a person of reason, and that's what the character was inspired of. And I couldn't use my grandpa, unfortunately, for health issues, but the grandpa on the film, he's actually my cousin, who was my producer. That's his tío abuelo, his uncle's grandpa. So tío abuelo, it's your dad's cousin grandpa, something like that. So that was fun. Yeah.
Yeah. So much like the theme in Beep that Alexander was sharing is find out who's in your circle and resource in that way. Really, really smart. We've got some people who are asking how to access the film, and If you are just joining, maybe you missed, the films were all released on our subscriber email that went out on Tuesday, bravemaker.com/buzz. That's how you get access to all the Bravemaker films. But the filmmakers will eventually put the links in the post in the comments as well, so you can look for them there. And we'll continue to talk. So if you have questions for our filmmakers, you can, again, put them in the chat. I'm Tony. I'm the executive director of Bravemaker. I've got Robertino, who is our assistant director. He's going to lead us into our next one.
Julio, where you at?
Julio.
I don't see you. Oh, there you are. Something tells me I'm a little familiar with this film.
Yes, Robertino, you worked on my set with me. You're the assistant camera.
Yep.
So thank you for all your help.
No, thank you. It was a great time. It was a great cast. Everything. We had a fun time. So I'm thankful. Thank you. So we went through a lot, right?
Yeah. We started back in August 2019.
Yeah, I mean, there were some stressful times as everybody goes through on set, and like something doesn't go right, and then I saw, I saw you stressed out, so we were trying to, hey dude, we got this. Don't worry about this. We got this. You'll figure it out, and you did. You figured it out. Look what you did. You produced.
It's great when you have an amazing crew that's got your back and is ready to support you no matter what problems come up on set or during pre-production.
So I never asked you why you decided to come up with this story of a young dreamer.
Yeah, so it was inspired by a combination of experiences, both in my life and experiences from friends that I've had in high school. A lot of families aren't as supportive as mine was, fortunately, to send their kids off to going to college. But my hope was that with making a film like this, it would inspire other people who are less fortunate to see the benefit of going to college and getting a higher education.
Mm. And you want to talk a little bit about your casting?
Yeah, so I casted 2 of my actors back in August when I filmed like a trailer for this to do a little fundraising for the thesis film. And I ended up using both Anthony and Golitsine. You could see here in the scene. They're really amazing actors, and they're very cooperative and excited to be on set with me. Anthony reached out to me saying that he read the script and he was very impressed with the story, and he felt it was very relatable. And I think that's the strength of this film, is that a lot of people can relate to having similar experience or something similar to what is seen in the movie.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we all relate to that, especially giving a voice to the Latino community. We definitely understand that.
Yeah, I see too many movies where there's a lot of negative messages or a lot of cliches putting down Latinos and saying that they can't go to college or they need to go to work right after high school. And hopefully with a movie like this, or it'll encourage more Latino filmmakers to share their story and encourage others to continue with their education.
Good job.
I appreciate all of you and your films. As Bravemaker, really our mission is to elevate these stories, these brave stories for justice, diversity, and inclusion. And we often, we hear a lot about in the arts or just in the world that representation is important, that people see themselves. We had the founder of Beyonce Mass on our podcast a few weeks ago, and she said this phrase that has kind of stuck with me in a really haunting way, but visibility is sacred work. That when people feel seen, it's like the work of the holy. It's a divine work. And so I really just applaud you all in who you are and your stories, but being filmmakers are telling stories where people can see themselves. They see their narratives. They see the possibilities for themselves. So huge applause for all of you in that. Want to bring it back around to Pietro in the sense of a story of 2 people finding love in the way that the characters in their stage of life was significant to your story. Do you want to talk about that at all?
Well, yeah. Thank you. And I want to say that I loved all these films, and I share some of the times when they were editing and I was in the process, and I think they all did an amazing job, especially because you now see the final products, but I saw the early stage of all the films that are now online and that you have to go to watch. And wow, I really love all their films. To come back to Rosita, yeah, well, I think, I don't know how, even if it doesn't look, but inside somewhere, I'm an old man. I'm a very old man who is somehow grumpy, and I don't know. I really like loneliness. I like solitude. I like to, maybe it's also a romantic idea, but that nostalgia feeling, it's always with me. So I imagine a man that, it's in his elder years, and maybe his wife is passed, and so he decided to just leave the love of the memory of this person. But then like life, things happens all in a sudden, unexpected things, unexpected emotions, and maybe sometimes we find out other aspects, no, like attraction also for other people that till the day before we thought we would never be even attracted, or that we were afraid to be attracted. And this is a story of a man that, no matter how old he is and what he's doing, what he's going through, he decides to live love, and to live love for a man, even if it's 70 years old, and if going through eviction, because we know San Francisco is also a very expensive city, and it's not easy for especially some older people. So I was very excited to tell that life, it's always unexpected, things happen, and no matter what, you have to go for the love. You have to go for the love, always. So that was what I wanted to do, and I had a wonderful cast and wonderful people to help me do this, and eventually, yeah, I think we, well, we can always do better, but it was for the time. We did a nice fighting on set.
Yeah, I want to get to that question for all of you. So be thinking about what you learned about filmmaking, what you might do different, speaking to the craft or the storytelling part of your film. We always like to go, what did you learn? How could we do better? But Christina asked, she said she enjoyed the surprise romance. How did you decide on the love interest of Jose and Andy?
Well, it was how did I decide on the love? It just happened, it just, I mean, it's the thing is that actually before it was supposed to be a story between a man, an older man and an older woman, and then a friend of mine told me how in the elder stage of his life he actually fell in love with a man, and how he decided the conflict that it was for him as an older man to come out to the world. And that thing really inspired me, and so eventually I decided to change and tell these story in which love, doesn't have any boundaries, doesn't have any age, and it was just, okay, let's do it, and let's go for the love. And we throw a coin. We throw, literally in the film, you throw a coin, and then someone finds the courage to go for it. So Andy, which is also kind of a strange character with these big glasses, is really a character. He goes for it, and then Andy follows. So it was just with the flow.
Well, Pietro, I had a quick question about the dancing scene. It was beautiful. That like really touched me there. And did you get an idea from Jean-Luc Godard?
Well, I wish. No, Jean-Luc. That's, I get naked for Jean-Luc now. I love him. I wish. No, I think that I really love, like, as it now with Carlos and with Daniel, we're doing a film about dancing. About the first ballet, the principal ballet, Angelo Greco of the ballet, San Francisco Ballet. I love dancing. I think that we express so many emotions, like also Alexandra does in his film. Through music, we express so much, and yes, it was a way to unite the character and let the emotion really flow in. So it was nice, and for sure the skyscraper and the landscape helped to build the atmosphere. Yeah.
Beautiful work.
Very beautiful. So if you are just tuning in and you're hearing about Rosita, Pietro's film, you can watch it. We'll make sure that the link is available for you, and you can hear about the scene that they're talking about right now. We have Christina, who shares, I love that you told a love story featuring an older couple, because our society, I often feel, ignores people once we get older, as if we no longer love and experience loss in life. Really, really cool. Good work on that, Pietro. So let's hear from all of you. If you could share a little bit about what you learned making your film, what something would you do different? And if we can kind of make this like a lightning round, you each got like a minute or two to share about what you would do different. And it's not about guilt and shame, like, I'm horrible, I wish it, but like something you learned, something you'll do better next time because of what you learned. And it could be really practical, like about time, getting an AD, getting permit, whatever, or it could be about story or whatever, adding an insert shot to make things clear, whatever you want to say. Pietro, go ahead, since we just landed on you.
Okay, no, well, I think I love these. I love these moments because you put all your effort, and then all in a sudden you meet Robertino for interest of cinema, and then you meet Tony and you have a talk. And I think this is the most beautiful thing. What I learned, the most I do films is to continue to do film. Like even now, we had nothing. There is a pandemic going out, but we said, you know what? Let's try to tell a story. Be safe as much as we can. We're holding masks, we're keeping distances, but still, the beautiful thing of a cinema is that you can hold the camera and have things going far from you. And so the thing is going out and fail again to then get to this moment and meet you, Tony, see again, Gonzalez, Robertino, Julio's, that did amazing film, building my life, my friendship, and the stories of tomorrow. So this is the great learning. Create connection through cinemas and fail and continue to fail, because you never tell a story properly as you decided. But this is what makes the next one go.
Yeah. Tanti auguri, molto bene, Pietro.
Grande, Tony, grande.
Julio, how do you want to answer that question?
Yeah, I mean, I just learned so much from making this film. It was first time writing and directing a film for my thesis. I think anytime you make a film, you learn something that you didn't know before. For me, I think if I could do it again, I would change how I scheduled our shoot days, so it was more balanced. I think we put too much scenes into one day and not enough on the second day that we filmed. And yeah, it's just such amazing to see it come to completion from the pre-production process all the way to now.
Right on. Thanks, Julio. Carlos, you're up.
Cool. Yeah. So I would say show more, like I feel like I would say something that I learned is that I had too much dialogue, and I'm such a cinematographer. So I would say definitely show more and tell less, because I think people like to kind of figure things out by themselves. I know as a audience member, I do like to do that, and definitely take more time with just planning everything. I feel like we're also excited to go and shoot it and get our idea to life, that sometimes we don't spend the right amount of time to doing that pre-production that really needs to happen. So I would say definitely show more, tell less, and spend more time on pre-production, everybody.
That's a great time for us to plug our screenwriting workshop. We have a Thursday afternoon screenwriting class. So if you do have a script that you want to work on, all of you watching, you can go to bravemaker.com and sign up. We have the next class starting June 11th, but just want to affirm that, sometimes looking at our script, we feel like, I don't know what to cut. I want the audience to know everything, but what Carlos is saying is so true. Sometimes you don't even have to say 3 or 4 sentences. You can say one word and the audience knows what's going to happen. That's really, really good advice. Thank you for that, Carlos. Alexander, what do you got?
Hi. I think the biggest thing that I learned on this project, this was the biggest project that I directed. I learned that you literally cannot do this by yourself. I kind of grew up doing like stop motions on my own and making YouTube videos, and it's all been me. And then maybe my brother has helped out a little bit. But in this project, I was just so much to do, so much set building, so much to write, so much to edit. And I just felt so relieved when I had so many people helping me out and so many people guiding me through the process. And that just kind of made me very grateful of all the people who are helping me. But yeah, definitely cannot do it by yourself. And there's been some nights where I've been editing, doing the VFX for Beep, and just thinking to myself, like, wow, it would be so cool if I had like 5 other people who were working on these shots. It was like 30 something shots that I was doing. Each took like a day to do. Around a day. But yeah, definitely can't do this by yourself. But also, I learned a lot about myself as a filmmaker and what I like making in terms of my craft. I just really love this whole like bittersweet and like kind of cute vibe that I add to these videos, especially with my grandpa, who's, you know, the cutest guy. So yeah, definitely can't do it by yourself. Yeah. Also,
nice
never leave gear in your car because our gear got stolen the last day. Yeah. And also, okay, biggest lesson for everyone: no matter how much it costs, get insurance because it helps. Please.
That is really good practical stuff. Really good. Insurance, don't leave stuff. And if you need to leave stuff, just have someone, what do they call it? Fire watch, right? Have someone stand and guard it, because I have heard that gear being stolen so much. Oh man, I'm sorry. That's brutal. I liked your little plug too for Agridulce bittersweet. That was nice. How you said bittersweet.
Yeah. I see you, Carlos, down there.
Well, hey, huge thanks to all of you. I would love you all to just do a round of where people can find you. Shout out your websites and your social media handles. We'll start with you, Alexander. Go to you, Carlos, Pietro, and then Julio, and make sure you also plug them in the comments as well. Go ahead, Alexander. Where can people find you?
So you can find my general info at alexander-gonzalez.com. You'll literally find everything there. But if you want to check me out on Instagram, it's Algonzo97. So DAALGONZO97. I was looking at it, making sure I was spelling it right. And then also follow at Salsa Verde Prod on Instagram.
Right on. And shout out for Bay Area people and Menlo Park right next to us. Yeah, I hope we have lots of productions happening this summer. And if you need someone who can, dude, by the way, I'm sure you've got lots of Pixar BB-8 kind of references for your work. So go get it, man. You got some great stuff. Carlos.
Yeah, you can find me on, I would say, Instagram. Just go to Instagram at official Carlos Sanchez. There's too many Carlos Sanchez's, you know, so go at official Carlos Sanchez. I also just started a YouTube channel. The link's going to be on my Instagram. I'm actually going to have Alex, you know, on it. And I'm going to have, Pietro on it too. So just again, Instagram at official Carlos Sanchez. And the link for my YouTube channel is going to be on my bio. So you can find me there.
Awesome.
By the way, I just want to chime in real quick. Carlos had a really great first episode for his channel. So yes, definitely check it out.
Thank you.
Yeah. Great. Again, thank you everybody to have us here today. I'm so excited and so good to support from the local, from now in these crazy times, especially now that we're home. Well, you can find everything on my website, pietropintofilms.com. There are all my films, all the trailers. You can find all my Instagram reference and Facebook and posters, emails, gadget, everything. I can even come and cook for you dinner if you book me.
Really good.
Talk about film, Italian dinner. To have some fun.
Mamma mia.
And a night of Italian films.
Love it. And last but not least, Julio.
Yes, I'm still working on my website, but you could follow me on Instagram at Julio Ramon Sanchez. My website link will be in my bio soon.
Fantastic. And Robertino, give because people want to follow you too, Mr. Celebrity photo guy.
Yeah, how's it?
You don't want to do
that. Robertino is always around, guys. One day with Brad Pitt, one day Tom Cruise. What is going on, man?
Everywhere, man.
We're seeing everywhere. In Italy, at Venice Film Festival, at Cannes Film Festival, at the Oscars. What? Robertino, explain it.
You got to keep up with me.
I know, I can't. You're too fast.
Oh, mine?
Yeah, shout out yours. While I read, Vincent says some great Bay Area talent here. Yes.
Yes.
We'll be
Hey,
hearing
Vincent,
from,
what's up?
we'll be hearing from Vincent in a few weeks too. So you'll get to meet him and see his work as well.
Cool.
Robertino.
It's just RH0B3RT1N0.
And he's going to put that link in there so you can follow him. Hey, round of applause to you, gentlemen. Thank you so much for your work. You're a part of the Brave Maker family now. We're sorry that we're not going to be doing in person anything, probably not this year, based on how life looks, but I hope that we can reconnect. Oh, by the way, have you heard of this? A friend of mine watched a Korean series, and she said that they do this for like a heart. Have you seen this before?
Oh,
Isn't that cool?
that's very cute. Yeah.
Isn't that cool? I love that.
I love that. Yeah, I love
it. All right, so hey, stand by, filmmakers. We'll talk in a second. Let me do our outro. Hey, much thanks to everybody for being with us today. As you know, we celebrate justice, diversity, and inclusion, and we know that our world right now is feeling a ton of pain, and is really feeling a lot of trauma based on so many things that are layered upon us. So be good to each other. Reach out to your friends and family. To all of my friends and family of color, to the Black community, we see you, we're with you. I am not Black, but I stand with you. I am not Black, but I mourn with you. I am not Black, but I will fight and speak up with you because you deserve it. Your lives matter. And the arts matter more than ever right now. We need all of our first responders, and we celebrate you who are helping on the front lines, those of you who are coming up with a vaccine for this virus. But the artists, you are storytellers, you are prophets, you are healers, you are activists. We need your voices. We need your stories. And my hope is that Brave Maker isn't going anywhere, that we are going to survive this challenging time, and we are going to be on the forefront of supporting artists like you just heard, and in supporting their stories and elevating their work. If you want to be a part of that, we are a nonprofit, a 501c3 nonprofit. Everything that comes in is tax deductible, and we have just a few more days to meet our goal with our grantor, the Jacques M. Littlefield Foundation. Can I ask you to make a donation on behalf of the arts today, on behalf of the work that we're trying to do, so that we can continue to not only curate and screen these films, but make art and make brave stories that will change the world. Thanks so much for listening. Go to bravemaker.com to donate, or you can text the word BraveMaker to 44321. That's BraveMaker to 44321. Brave stories change the world, and you are the story. Till next time. See ya.